We've got choices for every day of the week. When it comes to great-looking workout clothes, we've got you covered, no matter what day it is. USA Gymnastics and Reebok offer a new line of exclusive souvenir merchandise and training apparel.
Some skills will have to show the world to become a first place and then be the number one all over the world. Don't follow the other gymnasts and try to have our idea which way is better to do the routine to be number one. So I want to start to talk about the mounts. They're supposed to be mounts down. I wish I can see the kids. Mostly kids, I saw that they're doing compulsory mounts. Little bit starting tight towards to go open out on the hip. So I would like to see in the beginning when they're starting to do straddle over, absolutely straight body taking off and keeping legs behind like we're doing you can show the drills on the vault. They're starting work on the vault like jumping over the bars and make a straight absolutely body legs behind. In an arms position, when you're pushing arms position, you have to just work with the arms and get the arms position from the side and catch the bars. This will give a little bit beautiful body position to make a nice fly, and like doing mount, like doing the release move. And after all, when you're doing catching the high bar, trying to extend before to the kip, show the nice straight body in front of it, and then start to do kip catch, handstand, and pirouette. So mostly our gymnasts in United States are trying to forget about the kip catch. I saw the competition, 80% of kids, they can do kip catch. Somebody's trying to arch, somebody's trying to bend the arm, somebody's trying to straddle the legs. It's hard to get the handstand, or they're doing cast normal, everything is fine, they can get the handstand position, just 90 degree, maybe almost to handstand. So this is a gift, most beautiful the workout work and a beautiful picture on the bar. Got really seriously think about the kip catch, because kip catch is using 5 times, maybe at least 3 times using your kip catch on your routine. And you're losing a lot of things on this skill, kip catch to handstand. So within kip catch, the pirouette and free-hip pirouette, I think the kip catch pirouette is supposed to be come up from the handstand to handstand, free-hip handstand, and then start to work on to try to continue to do some other skill. So this is really serious. But I saw the pirouettes also. I saw that almost everybody, the 90, maybe 90% the girls are losing on the pirouette. At least one thing. So I want to show some kip catch pirouette and free hip pirouette. But free hip pirouette is supposed to be absolutely, when you're starting a little bit thing about for the future. My idea, my feeling is free hip pirouette is supposed to be with the free hip and immediately like going to do blind change. This is for tomorrow's gymnastics, because we're just trying to do a free hip and staying on the handstand and then trying to make a turn. This just gives them a little bit hard time for the girls. Mostly girls, they can lose a lot of pace on it. So it's better to start this way, and later on you can try to work on it and start to make a hop. So free hip hop. will be the little bit difficult and different from the other countries to do some different on the compulsory. So who can show me the Kit Kat period, pre-hip period? Jenny's trying to work on it first, starting work with the arms with the pirouette. This is not bad. Nobody's saying you can't do this way, so this is okay to do this way, but it's much better if you can try. Can you show me the way without changing arms? Here. You're done on the competition, right?
What?
You're done this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Jenny, come here. Lay down in your back. Alright, this is what later on, when you're starting to work on a free hip, you can work with the free hip and start to make it just free hip in half. And try to work try to do a little bit different than the other countries. So this kind of work will be really like a challenge, like thinking about the tomorrow. So and after I want to just talk about a little bit of free pack. This is one of the weakness part that to everybody. Mostly kids, they're trying to do free pack. They don't doing any free hips and just trying to get the bars. I would like some girls who can just show me free hack.
Kids, you can put. I told them not to warm up unless they needed to. If you need a spot, you get your coach to spot you. You can move this mat where you would like to. Let's get going.
I yelled for bars.
Yeah, you can come out, Rick, and handle that. Thanks, Steve. Steve will be out here to help. Thanks.
The free pack, when you starting to drop on the free hip and starting right under the bars, you can't hang on it longer. You have to think about how stronger you can use the free hip to make a nice free hip, and then after start to fly. So there's some the free pack after the handstand. It's very important to get after Kit Kat to start with the free pack to hit the handstand. So they have to do Kit Kat the handstand and then start to make a free pack. I would like to see after the handstand, when the girl's doing the handstand, after handstand you have to see the little bit the gymnast start to move a little bit backwards, and then start to work on the free head. So this is to make the power to start the free pack. For actually for the little girls, not the tall girls, it's a little bit having a problem with the free pack. So if you want to use the really power to get the high bar, you have to think about how to start the free hip, how to make a powerful work on the free hip to get the fly out. So when you're starting a little bit after calf, put the shoulder forward. It's just starting very, very slow, and everything is getting very hard to make after second half. So you have to get a really nice, powerful work before we're just starting to free it. Before we're just thinking about how to get the position, how to start to make the power to work out to free it. So the longer, one more idea on the free attack, when it's mostly girls, they're thinking about the cut the high bar. This is really just psychologically training to get the bar, the high bar. The idea is not to get the high bar. The idea is how to make a free, not to free to have a nice fly. Get the straight body, make a head down. Don't think about to catch the high bar. When you start to think about to catch the high bar, what's going to be happening? You're starting to rush to make a circle around. And then after the bar, you're trying to bring not the whole body out. Bring the arms or shoulders to come in front and start to pike up on your body. So the better you start to work think about the freeze and take off. Fly like you're doing out here, and then in the last second you can get the bar easily. That's the psychologically the analytical timing we're supposed to use it. The timing is very important and how to do it after half. That time is clear circle, after clear circle, when you're coming up with the parallel to the bars, right here, you have to then start to make a work on the straddle. So when you start to straddle earlier, you start to make a tight position. Because you're trying to think about to bring the shoulders to touch the bar. The same to go fly up here, it's the same level with the bar, and then start to make a work with the leg straddle to catch the bar. See, the little bit early straddling the legs, making tight position of.
Her hands at the moment of finishing, when her hands touched the bar, her legs were still together as she reached for the touch. So the straddle came only at the hand touch or a hair after. Is that, you would agree?
Yeah, that
very late.
That gives the power to fly out. So if you're straddling early, thinking about the early straddle of the legs, it makes you a hard time on the shoulders, on the hips position.
In the testing program, they must remain constant. The measurement you use in the first half must be used in the second half.
All right, let's talk about there's the rule, which is an Olympic committee is asking for to do 45 degree after before to do straddle counter swing back. So I think it's better that the most gymnasts in the world, the best countries, they're gonna try to do the best way to get the tip tap handstand and split grip again. They give more value and more strength on the routine to be the back. If you need some drills, I can tell about that. You can use the low bar and try to do on the mat, and then later on just put the girls on the spot. Just stay under, spot them to stop them after, or just put the mat behind. Stick the mat and just let them to do by themselves. And feel they have to hang under the bar, just put the mat under. So the better way to learn the slipper grip is to take the voice bar. It's a little bit smaller with the grip, so you can feel how to use the slip grip. So you can really stretch forward. You're going to start a little bit pike up on the shoulders or pike up on the hip. It's going to really hard time to make that under the bar. You can never stay under the bar because just everything is coming just right down. So you can put it down, the bars is very good. On the bars, you have to work really far away from the bars to make make it looking nice and beautiful. So if you're starting from the split grip, you have to stretch forward. So when you start to go, start to shift with the rest and make a little bit hollow position on the body. Just swing under and make a hollow swing behind. And you start to motion girl trying to start low. A little bit put the head out. For hollow, you take off, and then start to release the elbow. Can you do a spiral back to joining? This is not back at all, but the fair is not to stay with the head out there. You try to stretch with your head coming out a little bit. You don't have enough space to shift with the arms to grip the bar right much better. So the hollow there, stretch behind, just get the bar. This is what I prepared to see that a little bit more stretching, a little bit more body position to work. You can never stop to work on your body position. I never can stop to do the little bit changes on your hand position, on your body, on your swings or whatever. I would like to see after with the big split grip, a little bit more stronger with the saddle back. Okay, really nice to come up here and then come fly there and then start to get the bar. So this is where we're likely to see that kind of work on the bars. Talk a little bit about the dismount and show the girls the dismount. I would like to see the dismount. Everything over the bar. When you're starting giant, never try to get the giant stop on the handstand and then try to make a farm. Because when you start to giant, stop a little bit and start to drop the leg down, you can't get the power out of it. Much better to see the giant going over the bar and start to leg on, and make it reaching far away from the bar, stretching back, keeping more releasing under the bar, like something's coming under the bar with power. Snap with the legs, work automatically work with the arms and rotate forward.
Did you think about the arms?
Yeah. So arms supposed to be absolutely straight. You don't have to bend your arms to make a snap because if you're going to lay so on straight under the bar, it's going to be to take off it's going to take off very easily off the bar. It's like going to snap you off the bar and not going to pull the arm.
I'd like to inject here that I watched bars in the division that we had here. And if we could define what Arthur is saying is having the swing and pushing and define the thought of pulling, the majority of our athletes are still attempting it by this. And so I think it's a really important thing to look at now so that we're not a year down the road trying to get to our feet on a half and still thinking that we're going to come off the bottom and pull. It's a very important point, I think, in terms of our development, because whether we're where we want to be or not, we're laying some really good foundations. We've got a few real shaky places. I view this as a shaky place. Okay, Arthur?
Thank you. And I would like to have somebody who tell me, can you come up? Yeah. Good song. This is a position under the bars. You have to really nice release under the bars. From when you're coming, pushing far away, starting release here. See, the toe is automatically coming off. You don't have to pull the bar. When you pull the bar, it's harder to take the legs off. Pull a little on the shoulder. So it's harder when you're coming up here. It's harder to take off the feet. You have to work hard to take it off. So when you release, your legs coming automatically off. It's just coming to the certain position where it's just starting to snap you. You don't have to worry about that. And also, it's better to put the not the whole feet on the bar, the toe feet, like putting the toe feet on the bar and making point toes, not trying to put the whole feet on the bar. So right on the toe feet. Then will be easy to take off. And then when you swing here, this position here, just almost the same level with the bar. Almost the same level. The legs coming really faster, opening up, and then snapping you right over the bar. Just starting really easy snap over. It's just starting to fly front. So the rotation is going really fast front. You can stop yourself. It's starting to rotate front. So then much easier to make a turn, make a front somersault, and make a front pirouette, whatever. So also, I would like to tell about some things they're doing with a little bit half turn earlier. The front tack is supposed to be completely finished in front of you, then start to make a turn. So this will be more high than you starting early turn. When you're turning early, right under the bars, you can't go too high. So maybe you can go the same level with the bars, but not higher than bars. So it's a little bit harder to think about early turn and make a back somersault. Don't have to, when you're doing it on, you don't have to pull your head back. When you pull your head back, it means you're pulling the bar. It's going to keep your head neutral. Try to rotate with the head front. Start to make a front here, then try to rotate. You don't have to be rushing with the front somersault. You have to nicely stay here, and then start to continue with the word front, faster, and with the turn. A little bit early because you can feel the bar. It's a little bit like when you snap and you start to pull the bar. That's why bars start to get shaky.
Where's Maddie? 72. Does it go? These are the terrific ones to me. I thought.
And also the thing about it, when you're tracking the front somersault, they have to. I would like to see the girls keep the knees together, more compact, more in front of you. I never try to open up with the turn. You have to finish here, make a nice hollow with the position. Make a turn, make a nice thing.
Arthur, we had one girl we saw did a pretty good one.
Any questions about the compulsory?
Because if you're trying to learn a toe in front granny right away, what you're going to see is everybody level or underneath the height of the bar. It's the drop in the shoulders and concerning with that. It's just like if you don't learn to get your layout somersault up in the air before you twist. So if they're really spending the time on the power of taking the giant over, powerful soul circle, and getting up in the air, doing the front and then the half, that's a much better way to go because you'll be able to learn then the kick out, whereas if you're turning early and doing the branding, you'll just be going into the ground, there'll be no flight. So it's really important to not start turning so early before the development of the power of the soul circle front, which is one of the reasons these compulsories weren't pushed on us so fast. That we had time to try to develop that. It's very important to do that. If you're just twisting right away, dropping the shoulders, you have no height.
You can warm up, sweetheart.
And also it's harder when you turn early with the tall hat. You start a little bit early turn. You have to use when it looks like you're doing launches. Just imagine you're doing launches. And you start an early turn with the chest, early turn with do launches. So this is going to look like that. Until you get the launches, it's going to make it a nice thing, get up with your hips and then make it turn. This is what you do with the start the early turn, makes it a really hard time for the landing too. Down goes to really get the front all the time and bring the shoulders down. When you turn the shoulders down, you have to make the rotation back.
So judges, what we're saying, I guess, is that for us in this developmental portion, it's very important to us that we reward trying it the right way, and we give those kids a lot of credit so that trying it the right way doesn't take them out of the ball game. Instead of trying it the wrong way, brandying early, and getting some feet and saying, okay, that's it. So that means on the ones that are not going this way, we have to be pretty severe on height and those things, and lack of openness.
And less on the.
Do you want your coach here? You want Tony out there with you? You're sure? If we kill you, Stormy will.
For the song, it's going to be very hard to make a hard song. When you start after hitting hard to make a song, it makes it powerful. It makes it powerful work here.
They're doing different ways. That's why I'm asking. They're doing.
Which is height.
Which do you want?
I'm prepared to make it absolutely over the bars. Play, make a nice hollow body position song, and big sound.
So how much plan should you see before they fly?
For the song, you have to go away from the bar. That's
No plan. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I want to say.
If you look at some of the people here, some of them are doing that mistake. Going, time.
Arthur, the throwaway deficit time. I'm still a little confused. You don't want this, right?
I don't want that because most of the girls are thinking too hard. Under the bar to this.
So what do you want?
I want to see the swing forward to take off the legs first. Kick with the legs, and then use the arms. So when you think about the arms, earlier, think about the arms to pull the arms. So what happens is coming too close to the bar. You're pulling the bar all the time. The rotation starts to stop, slowing down. You can't rotate front.
You got to think of the lower body.
You have to think about the shoot with the kick with the faster with the legs, like you're just kicking with the legs, taking up, and then starting using arms to make a rotation front. So when you think about the arms early, it's a different training.
Is there any more questions? I want to make a review on the clear hip so you understand. You will see many countries going clear hip handstand pirouette. It will end up being acceptable. It will not be preferred. And by preferred, it means that we will be in the ball game with the 4 best teams in international competition in the coming years. If we wish to do well, we must be with preferred technique on the clear hip. So, you may turn to handstand and you may hop. And I don't know if you understood that you had that option. And what Arthur meant by what he was saying is that if we wish to do what our magic goal is, it would be to our advantage to have hoppers because hop seems to be the wave of the future. And then that's what he meant by tomorrow. So are we okay?
Real. There was a question earlier about what about the first cast handstand pirouette? Should we work towards a hop or just continue?
I asked internationally in private conversation with the technical committee whether it would be allowed to hop the first swing hand because I was a little worried about doing it, and I saw one other athlete who was there working out kind of doing that, and I thought, well, they know about it, so I'm not saying anything. Mrs. Simonescu says how you choose to turn will be your business, but it must be done with the final goal. So it will be acceptable, but since we haven't seen anybody doing it, it will be hard. For those of you who want to try this, if you have a weak caster and it makes other problems happen, arched back, sluggish spin, and those things, that would not be the best way for you to go. If you have somebody who is so good at the caster that the hopping, correct me if I get it wrong, that the hopping reflects the excellence of the speed and dynamics, then that person probably would be the candidate for the hop. The hop should not be a substitute for not being able to pirouette because of the nature of the handstand. Is that okay answer? You want to say anything about that? Is that okay?
Yeah, I think the half going to make a little bit hard time for the girls because this is a really hard skill to do with the kid cast out. So it's harder for the boys to shoot. Maybe it's better to do not the half if you can do keep casting and erase like the second half.
When you're putting arms, you're casting here, arms coming from the side to down here, and not trying to just work. If you wanna
Change something on it, try to make some, different work.
The Romanians demonstrated with drills. Okay, what we're going to do?
Do it one more time.
Arthur, get some, Jenny, come here. Or Dominique.
Blair would be better. I'm sorry, we get the idea.
Come. No, because you have to go to here and then come down. Otherwise, the flare is not good.
Okay,
Arm up to your side.
handstand when coming, we should from here. I'm coming up here.
That's what we should do.
And then turning down here.
And probably Romania will go up this path because they showed many drills for it, drills happening in their gym, and they demonstrated at the FIG in this manner. So that will be one thing you'll definitely see.
Question.
Yeah.
How about the change of the hand? How early can that be?
They said that's not important, that they will look at the swing and the turn. But if you do it too early and body position suffers on the way out, you'll take that consequence. It's the final result. You're allowed in that range your method. Is that a good answer?
Yeah, but how about if you keep the perfect body position? Just about changing the hand off the body.
They will not look at the grip change being too early as a fault as long as it's not done during the kick. It has to be done during the swing hand. But Millie said you must understand that that probably will not be seen very well. So you could also take a chance, and then she laughed.
Don't do it.
Any more? You gotta move.
Real quick. Flying chain.
This is important, Kathleen.
How about hop chain in the free hip? Is that going to be allowed?
Arthur showed that first. The hop or the turn on the way up, on the clear hip, are both good techniques. We're hoping we're going to end up with the hop. And I gave a speech too.
Both hands.
Yes, like hop. Like he pulled Dominic.
It's like an evolution. It starts slow, and then you go faster, and then it's a hop, like the
But
swing hand.
it needs to be reflective of the excellence, not labor.
You can lay down like that. So you can stay with the one arm with the pirouette. Alright? Also, after all, when you're coming up here with the one arm, go with the one arm. Make it pop. Alright? You can use the arm to make a turn.
Okay? You will have a 1-minute break to be as unified in our approach to the exercise as possible. We have talked at great length, and there is total unity among the three of us and the rest of the staff. And we are hoping that you will support our basic ideas. The emphasis, again, is on technical execution and element performance, and should be less on style. But you'll notice that we're going to push a little harder this time for some style ideas, and we will gradually add these ideas. It will still be possible to adjust style ideas in terms of dynamics or soft to the individual athlete. But we're hoping to kind of go down the same road as much as possible. And when we make changes, which we'll make many between now and whenever, and I'd like you to look at some of the international teams. Those of you who watched 91 World Championships and just watched what the gymnasts from various countries did to come out of the first pass to the lunge. Those same countries were doing something entirely different in Barcelona. So I don't want you to get locked into, well, we decided to do this non-important part this way, and now we're changing. We will change when it's going to help us get our extra third of a point. Okay? And we're going to be open on connections and open to what we see happening internationally and how we think we can win. Sometimes you have a good idea and everybody copies it, so you got to do another idea so there's some freshness to your look. Okay? All right. You want them to, I need you to go on your feet. And we'll use Jenny also. Okay? So you kind of ready? In the testing, the place that it starts is actually part of a moving half turn with an extra kind of drift to forward. So, part of the turn, drop your arm, lift it, and the end of that lift, there's the swing toward the direction you're going to go. So we are starting in the middle of this movement for our testing program. So, can you adjust her? So your start position, if you're a righty, will be twisted to your right, and if you're a lefty, to your left, and you're going to use a lift to introduce coming forward. And we'd like that to be wonderfully floaty and introductive to the part. Has everybody got that? 2 is built around many running steps. If we do not learn to spring and to push and to be light on the mat and to cover ground because of the floor pattern being so large, we will not succeed. One of our basic weaknesses in the last quadrennium was our lack early on, while we got better, in looking as athletic and as light off the mat as some of the stronger nations in dance, as in Romania and the Soviet Union. So it's important to us that we pursue running steps throughout this exercise with foot form and springing and elegance and ground cover. On the assemblée, it is now possible for you to approach it with 2 methods. Method 1 is to close the legs in the air. You guys can do this for me. And you close and you will go parallel and do your tour. And you may land parallel or in third and continue to your next part. Or it is possible for you to go third to third, tour, third, or it's possible for you to go third and finish parallel. Any of those 4 possibilities are text legal. For you working with the children, my opinion is if this is going to be an agony and you're going to have to waste training time with where the knees are going and the rear end and they don't have the flexibility in here to look well, then that's not something for us to spend a lot of time on. The element is the tour. So, parallel or third. Both are acceptable. Make that note on your text because we didn't know how acceptable everything was going to be.
Which foot?
When I am going to do, thank you, Tamara, when I am going to do a right jump full third, I will begin it from right foot in front. So when I assemblée, I will have to put the correct foot in front for the tour. Stand in one spot, boom, turn. It should reflect forward, long movement. That's past foot.
Yeah.
Okay, can you each do it like once, and then we'll get the kids up, and we'll do this section. We'll go like a couple minutes, and then we'll go next section. Which one would you like to do? Amanda is choosing parallel to show you. You may do the tour, yes, and then we'll talk about, I think we'll leave the part out until we get this part done, and then we'll do this a couple times while they're all up. Okay.
John.
Jenny?
John, I just said.
Back and off the floor. I will try explaining this to you. I have tried with a lot of you. I'm going to try one more time. If you take advantage of what you have, you are here. If you come to here, you are now going to have a lot of trouble showing the judges that you jumped here and made all 360 in the air. If you take advantage of what has been given you, you are here. You move this arm first. Now as you leave the ground, you are off and straight by the forward position, and then we have the whole tour in the air. Everybody understand this. You all go like this, and I go, and you go. Oh, there's that arm. That arm goes at the deepness of the plie as you want to come back forward. Boom, arm and off by the time you're facing forward, not after you're facing forward. Okay, everybody else?
That all the time with the head on.
Can you watch Gaze's timing one more time? Can you watch how his arm and head relate? And bah. You see? Bah, one time. A lot of you are here, and then the arm's still circling. Bah.
And then after this PK, you take the three elephant. And here, Allah. One. You see, I'm going from here. Here, as I'm going to. That's it. For the step.
The only important thing, see, Gaze's the art form, and Tammy and I are artistic, we hope too. But we're the practical ones here too. Make sure that you're in a position when you land the third running step to be able to do your best torsion. Okay? Are we ready for them to try? Do you need to squat in the mountains and 2 squats and turns? Are they safe? Just the arabesque run. We okay? Go, go. You got
the Russian gymnastics on the late 60s.
Make it very good. Very good.
I mean, I know they were rejects from the Bolshoi, but still, how do they get these things to go up? Stay put.
And leave it, and leave, and
Take off. To do with the running approach, and it totally has everything to do with the last takeoff step. Our problems with tour jetés still remain that on the last running step that we are not springing to spring. And we were an hour late, $1 short getting off the floor, and we're having posture problems on takeoff. Did I miss anything? Okay. It is obvious that your judges will judge you on how high you go, how crisp you turn, how artistic you look in the air, whether you're 180, and whether it looks very precise. Okay? You want me to make her do it? I don't want to turn your hand. Are you all right? Huh? A little bit steep. Give it a shot, but it's not what you want. It's a little late off the floor because we'd like to see it do this. And that's because you did a conservative one. I noticed that there. A couple more? Not bad, okay? Everything, do you understand what I say late? This step needs to be longer. This lift off the floor needs to be sooner so that this rise happens longer into the turn. And if you go past your foot, you've got to turn early, then your split is late, and your timing isn't good to hold your back leg up on the landing. If you want, come here, Jen. If this is up and this is down, you want to be up, split your legs. And you want to be here at this point instead of on the descent at this point. So you want to be here and hold it through here. Okay? Anything else I missed? Arms, girls, they will get you, but please, how's this? I beg you. I tell you, Tammy tells you. And it's not beauty. But the one thing you're still not hearing is that your arms come this way, and it has everything to do with what you're trying to get done. The coordination of arms to take off has everything to do with what you're trying to get done. And we have the same problem on beam on our leaps. So I want right hand up in the air.
and the same problem with
I promise to make this important to me.
I promise.
Okay, Tammy, and then divide your groups and we'll try.
Okay, and remember this for your obstacles to this. You're not using your arms on any of the leaps and options. They have to be coordinated on the left. Okay?
You got it off because we can here. Only as long as your hand here.
Pass it on.
Girls, make sure your arms come over your head, not okay? You try to hold it this way as long as you want to spot. CA, reach. What happened on the CA, girls? Over there on the other side, little practice of CA or a bat. Sam, show us what it means.
We'll have all girls. Good.
And on one. And one.
Pick up like a
And
again, girls, go.
She is still a hair late. Most of you are still into the floor here too long. Most of you do not have the arms coordinated with the takeoff yet.
Can she do it one more time?
Sure, Tammy, if you want to speak on it. Everybody hold it. Tammy, let this group here too.
Okay, watch how long her step is into it. Left, right, boom. See how long they are? It's almost like her legs are all straight. It has to be really stretched out. You don't want the chest
Each
leading.
one's better. We'll take one more, Michelle.
Long,
Each
long
one's getting
step
better.
back. Watch the
Long,
inside of
long,
the foot on the floor. Reach.
Yes.
See how long it is?
Yes.
You need to watch that. Don't just watch how good it is. Say, watch
You hear
how
what she
she's done.
said over here? She's saying there's a direct relationship to the result that she's getting to the length and dynamics of her takeoff step. Did everybody hear that? Okay? Good. Scramble to kind of your basic positions again. Boom, boom, boom. Leave this front a little free. I saw a couple people. Amy, you were real close. If I end up needing you, Murakami, be ready because I saw you kind of get through part of it right. Amanda has done this very little. Has Jenny done the...
yeah.
Jenny? This is style, not the element. It is a style we would like to try. But the first thing we do is get a great tour jeté and a great fish flop or chest roll, whatever you want to call it. When you have those two things in place, then we'd like to try this styling. Pretend like you landed the tour jeté. And we think a little bit higher than lateral. As you plie, we want you to go down low, start down, back leg rises. Start down, back leg rising, lower, lower. When you are clear into this landing, we want you to shoot back with the legs still going up. Toe down, knee pulls this leg going here, arms coming to oblique, body is straight, head releases, seat is still tight, and to go back as far to the floor as we can here. Now break into our fish fly. And from the back bend, it is very important that when you're back here and you're going to go, that this leg drives you into the roll. And not that you are here and you go here and you take that leg out. Do you understand? Okay, can you kind of do it that way? Is that what you were trying? Or do you want me to just hold you? One more time, again. Pretend like you landed the tour jeté. You're coming down. You keep going down. Leg rising. Drive out dynamically. Toe. Pull to square. Back bend. Near the floor you can get. Driving this way. Go ahead and go fish fly. And fish fly. Okay. And that's what we're trying. This is going to be hard to do as a group. So we're going to have to spread out a little bit. Do you want to, Tammy, you think maybe we should just start with the back bend of the fish flop?
Yeah, because we're going to have to get control of landing and reaching that deep. I think once they get that, I think they need to go from
It's not as slow as you think. When you're going, I could actually do it. Forget it here. But as you're going down, it's a dynamic action. So as I'm landing the tour jeté, I'm going down. This is dynamic into that. And I don't want to kneel. I caught my dog on the steps. But you are doing it as one motion into the straightening, not 1-2, even though you pass through the positions I put Jenny. I caught a 93-pound German Shepherd in the ice in the storm of the century. I did a knee drop.
Let's do it from the knee. Then.
Spread apart, let Geza and Tammy check your positioning because they may take some of you out. Yes. Good, Donnie, but you're dropping your arms below shoulders instead of above. Pay attention here. When she's a beautiful line to the floor. Some of you are dropping your arms to this position. Needs to be in that line.
Oh, nice.
Who? Come here. Can I see yours? Just get your split and do the thing right there so I can see if it's right. That's close. It's very close. Anybody do it that way, only lower? Susie? Let me see your Susie. Come here, Amy, come here. That's good, except for the first arms. You two please come up here. Everybody back up. I made Amanda promise. I'm not burning up her hamstring. Okay? Musically, we are still going awry. We are 9 million miles behind where we belong. Please do it this way. It is not me. It is not Tammy. This is also FIG. This is timing, the way it's supposed to be. There is no exaggeration or lengthening of how much musical time you are going to spend in the next part. There is none. 0. The nice thing that happened at FIG, and you saw that in your changes, you no longer have to contract. It makes the part easier. We want more amplitude, so we want you to be more efficient even than Dimova said to be, so that we have time to look more beautiful into the helicopter part. Okay, so, Susie, do the fish spot. 1. A lot of you are still making this mistake, but it was better. We're probably not going to do this today, but pay attention. Your shoulders should be the center of your body line. You guys are still going like that and not having your shoulder in the center of your body line. So your shoot is as straight and as lovely as it could be. So 1. Go ahead, sir. Susie's going to move this over and get your legs out there straight. So that this displacement is far enough that this line is straight. So your legs go straight and shoot and down. Hollow, not pike. Extension. If we can get straight by here, we would like it. So the straight part lasts a long time. Going straight, straight, straight. When we're here, Susie knows. Lift head to stall feet. Most of you are still saying, I'm here, I will arch my stomach. You are the ones who cannot control the end. So if you lift your head first, it stalls your feet for you. Roll through here, over the hip of your righty on the right, your lefty on the left, but make sure you roll at least to here looking straight. Do not come off the top, rolling down your side and say, Muriel said so. Okay? Let's go. I get a lot of that. And then when Tammy's on the road, it's Muriel said so. When I'm on the road, it's Tammy said so. Eddie. Here, dynamic to straight, over the top straight, pretty fingers because we can do it. Head up to roll down. Rolling straight, 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 and now starting to get on the hip. Good. And swinging this leg. Boom. So it's like a horizontal illusion. It is not a push down in your hand. And we are good enough to use beautiful arms throughout and not look labored in our support. When you are on your position here, if I'm a righty, I'm going to have to lift this up, and I'm going to have to shorten the right side of my body, so when I swing around, I can be at this angle. Does that make sense to everybody? After she is in split, Susan, you're split. This is the position that you have a brief pause. You say, bottom fish flop down, around, show split. Stomach in, arm sideways. Wherever your coach picks, but probably as near to lateral as you can go, looking good. Stomach in, straight body, the nicest split. So you want helicopter, or whatever you want to call it, illusion, split, pause. We are going back to go forward because it gives it more amplitude. So next thing is release your head and go as far this way and hold this body shape and try to hold these beautiful arms forward. As soon as you're here with dynamics, here, past this leg and to your knees.
Does the head to drop when you turn?
No, you want your head up and your body short. Your head does not, there is no longer any contraction. It's easier now, Natalie. They took the contraction out because it was too much time. So you go split, back, whiz, kneel. And we're going, kneel. We're giving up the musical time in the wrong place. Was this clear enough, Tammy?
Yes, just emphasize the head's not.
Head is not down, head is up. Chest is as close to the ground as you can get. Arms are as beautiful in this line as you can do. Okay? Amy, do one. Susie, do one. Amy, yours is right, but you're a little not low. The lower you can go, the better. Keep the speed up. That's why I picture. Just do a few. Sinks in. Now, Amy's goes too high at the end. As you work it and it gets better and better, you are trying to come by your last leg still close to the ground. So the circle pattern goes further than 180. You want to go to that diagonal still here and not uprighting yourself. So you want to whiz to here and roll to here. Okay? And small circle and rapid circle. Okay? You guys, you got 1 minute in any text. It is movement. It will be judged by the normal amplitude rules. If somebody's in pike seat with their feet 4 inches apart, that's not right. But there is no center split and there is no third split. They're not there. It's just general amplitude. The third split is present. So if we get the idea, we'll work on amplitude. Jessica will do one. Did you do it? Size. We're trying to show that when we're on our knees, that our ability to come to straight is powerful. And it's kind of the core of our basic kneeling parts. So, if you did this, it's correct. And if you did it like this, it's correct. But it doesn't show you too much in terms of strength and elegance. So when you're on your knees, we want it to be like feet. We want to show that we are strong. So what we're trying is to keep this alignment, but to go this way first with buns under. So as we erect, we're straight, coming from behind it to straight, so we have a little amplitude coming up. That is style. And we continue that, and here's a little change for those of you who've been paying close attention. We've got a little combination of what we had before and what they changed it to this last time. So we can get a little movement and it makes it easier. So we are here, and we did this, and we come up. When you take your step, your arms must be lateral. As you come up, which is the down, of your down, up wall step, you may twist a little to your right, which makes it easier to feel. So from here, if you're a righty, you're going to twist a little this way, other people are going to twist a little that way. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so gaze that, and Tammy, about 30 seconds, whatever. We're counterbalancing to get off the floor. And we're ruining our whole deal. You need to use your plie. You need to use this coming forward. So you're here. So you're erect or behind erect. Follow the rules. We're going to review, and I'm going to do it, and you know it's not very good. And I'm not going to be horizontal. Okay? But when you're here, remember, it starts with the releve to brush, not with brush to releve. And I thought in general it looked pretty good. Everybody understands this, correct? The only not real smart thing I saw you doing in the testing program is that later on it is going to be a rond de jambe turn. And you only use a little arm on that. You're not going to need this big buff. So we need arms softer, coming up. And after you hold this, which we still are having trouble being above horizontal. Jenny, would you come here, please? Quick. Run. Warp speed, cut. Can you get up in your position, please? Facing this way. In other words, I want your leg up facing that. Jenny has learned something that you guys are not facing, a lot of you. Hold your leg and stay flat-footed, or you're going to do it bad now. Okay? Give me your leg. This is the hardest position to hold. This is your longest lever. This takes the most muscle. This is the most miserable position to be in. So you got to start getting with your coaches here, because I know they're not in the gym saying to you, lift your leg lower. You haven't heard that this month, have you? Okay? So you must lift your leg toward you. It's a feeling that I have. I think a lot of you think up instead of over yourself. But look at Jenny. The higher she's getting, the easier that hold's getting. This is easier to hold than this. And if we just get on with the agenda and start getting in that gym, and when we warm up, maybe stick our leg up on a bar and go up, and start finding out that we can work in this range, it would help a lot. That's my biggest criticism of your performance during the element testing. You're doing better at releving first, you're doing pretty good with balance, but we still are down here in an uncomfortable position. We're still having a little bit of trouble with posture through the hips. You did real well with trying to releve then turn. So there was a sincere effort on that. Pretend like you're holding it. Go on to the next part. Plie. That's plie to turn. She's almost going to have to do what she did when the real routine comes along. But right now we have a little more time, and we want you to clearly show that you finished the turn here, and then attitude. Ready? Then attitude. Okay? So the end of the turn should be here before you finish to here. And then you all sincerely tried to extend out and stay on your toe, and I was real pleased. But then right after, that's where we're in trouble. It is fast again, and we're taking 2.5 counts for something that should be bump, bump. So from here, after you extend, should be 1, 2. Jen, go ahead. Amanda, me, here, start doing a couple. It's the only part we're going to work on, so that the rest is kind of there. 1, 2. No, you're stepping down, man. Hang on, Jenny, 1 here. See that little jump Amanda's got in there? It's built into the text, so we got to like try to figure out how to look like it hops a little. It's described as a hop. Okay. Don't worry about doing the element because we think you understand it. Let's Geza and Tammy are going to get you. You got 30 seconds for.
Let it go. Let it go. Yeah. You have the longest, prettiest legs. But this is up here. This is up here. For your arm. Yeah. Yeah. Hop. Hop. Not stuck.
I will go do one real quick in the diagonal so you understand it, but pretend like this is my corner. If you were standing in second position, and you were erect, and I'm a righty, so my right arm is here, my left arm is here. And then I plie, and I turn my head. That's almost it. It's only a slight adjustment of the hip, shake. And that's it. Your problem is you're all doing this. You need to be erect to do the turn, but the body is open a quarter. So if I'm here, it's not there. His arm still stays where it was. Ladies, look at me one. One thing that's escaping you. Good job. Pretend like this is where I am. I'm in second. My arms are here. And I plie. And I turn my head. And this hip is there. Every time you go to turn your head, you move your arm. Your arm's still here. Okay? Foot lengths of your feet. Put your arm in second. Put this arm in first, which in ballet is here. This arm does not move against space. It's as close to there as you can get. You plie on your right leg. Nothing changes. It's still second. That arm's still in space. You turn your head to look where you're going. Nothing changes. It's just no changes. Thank you. What a model. Now, only thing you do is this. No, not a minute. Just subtle so we look one. That's it. Because we need to do what they're saying, and we also need to be on center so we can turn. So if we end up doing this, which is what the Bulgarian does, we're not going to have great turns. We're going to have the whole thing all day really well. We'll come back and do aerials. We see aerials as a weakness. We're not seeing hurdles up here. We're not seeing late separations on the step. We're not seeing you stay up here. We're not seeing dynamic arms. And we're not seeing pass needles on takeoff. And if all of those things happen, your flip timing would be at a different place in your area so that we could generate good power and speed toward our roundup. We are going to try later to get back to this fast if we have time, but we just don't. Coaches, we all know we want to come from back here, pushing into the roundup, not falling. When Steve and Tammy watched floor during the competition, it was their biggest criticism on this part. So everybody pretend like you landed an aerial, arms back, you're going to push, not stand up and then try to do a roundup. Push and drive out. Arms are in alignment, we are not going to drop an arm. I should make you put your arm up and bow. Your ears will be so red from doing this part, you will have little sores. because you're going to be here and not here. From the floor and then splitting. So your split action should take place off the floor up here and not from the floor. So some of you are still coming off the floor splitting instead of springing to split. You did a better job sitting down and pushing in your extension roll as proud. We are, Jenny, with right. I have extension roll, step down, and what are you? It was in vertical and a split. Our advice is to split a hair earlier. So that we're coming from, kick a handstand for me, Jen. Boy, is this good. Split. She don't wing. Get your back straight. Straighter. Good. No, right over here. You could get straightened and split by hair as an insurance policy. So we're sure we pass through the vertical to the step down. We would really like that. This is not an important connection, the next part. For all intents and purposes, we're not too concerned at this point, but when you come down, you must show scale. Arabesque, as soon as you got the arabesque done, at any point you want to put that foot down, it's fine. A lot of you forgot in the testing that it's quarter turn. Some of you are over here getting ready for the cabriole wrong. Quarter turn. So you just this pass on the straight, quarter turn, you're on the straight. Okay? Looked like everybody did a real good job of the changes on the cabriole position, so we're real happy. This is another place for one plie, cabriole. But after that, it's spring, spring, boom. Spring, spring, plie. And we have a lot of walk, 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 plie. So it's that same place again. We're not springing our running steps, and we're not springing our takeoff leg. Everybody, in a second, will try it. I'll do it. I'm here. I'm a righty. I'm on my toes. I take my step forward, down the straight. When you choose to put your arms here, it's individual styling. And we're open to do that. Open. So, those of you who want to be very strong in your foot could come up and go. Boom. You think that's going to help you? If you want to do it on the second step, okay? And if you think your athlete can go later, fine. Late scares me. So, it's a big change in style here, and this is kind of the strongest and the sharpest you've been in a while. Okay? 2, if I'm a righty, this is diagonal to me. So when I step forward, I step in a line. When I plie on the diagonal line, and it's plie, so that both legs come into the cabriole. Most of you are falling on this leg and having a terrible time. You're thinking of it as a hop with no right foot involvement, or if you're a lefty, left foot involvement. So watch that you go down to step across. Your shoulders swing if you're a righty to the left, so they are on the same diagonal line as your step. Your arm is up, you're here, and you brush this leg on that diagonal, and you cabriole. When you land, you need to square back off the straight, and a lot of you forget that, so you're drifting to go forward. Okay? The position, Amanda, second cabriole was just like this. They used to have this opened up to the side. The presentation was straight ahead. Certain people didn't like it. This is our adjusted position. The word slight is important. So this is square, slight. Focus is still forward. There's none of this on this element. And trying to kick out. Go, Amanda. Good. We would like to kick it out before we land it. You do that as a good kick. Boom. Holding arms up. Okay? The text internationally now reads arms staying up, which is easier to open than dropping them, but you have license. Whatever works best for you, you do. Okay, foot a hop, half turn. Amanda, are you warmed up to do that one? Sure? Okay for this part? We have 2 running steps we'd like to spring. Coaches, this is really tough. I understand that there's not enough music to do it here, but this is the way it is. Arms must circle backward. Yeah, foot a, arm circle back, walk over the knee. Okay, go. Jenny. Stay there. Hurry, Jenny. Right. You're wonderfully diligent. We're trying to make every second. Okay, let's see what yours is. Go. Good. And good. Wrong. both of you. I thought I'd get one of you, but I don't want to kill Amanda because I don't want to make her do this. She's got important things to do, so I'm going to kill Jenny. Get on your toe where you landed originally and on your hands. When you land, you want this amplitude. Really, this amplitude. 2, as you go to your knee, you maintain and increase this amplitude. Go, knee. 3, you get as low as you can here, using this amplitude before this knee comes in to here. 4, the final position is buns down. You're a little stiff. And you can use a little relaxation here so your shark looks better. This is erect, buns in, and here. Okay? Does everybody understand that? Kick the handstand. Let's not do the walkover. And maybe you take them through one of the arm circle, make sure everybody's got it. There are very few deductions on the walkover and the fouette compared to what we projected might be. But it goes without saying, you drop your back leg in the fouette hop, and we are in deep, deep trouble. You may do what Jenny did, which is to plie. Amanda plies left. Each of you do one more fouette turn so they can see. Both of them are correct. There is no statement about whether you can or cannot. Balance is harder doing this and being speedy. So if you have a strong athlete that can go boom, boom in there, it's a good risk. If they're not that strong and that good at centering and plie, it's probably best to land and to do this more in a lock leg with the circle, because they're going to get into wobble land because they don't center so well in the plie. Okay, go, go, go. Amanda, be more careful landing in the water. First knee. Oh, very nicely. Very, very good. Go, Jen. Not as good at arabesque as Jenny owns to hang on to. See the difference in Amanda's and Jenny's towards the end there? Come on, Jenny, you own one here. Get it going. Ah, no, not a kick. Good. Very, very nice. Okay, everybody, you two. And the step across and the cabrio. When you bring your arms from this position to this one, it's up to your individual coach and her feelings about how your style will look best. It is kind of bulky and a big change in the routine, so I wouldn't like to ignore it and go on. It shouldn't look, I don't think, like this. I think you should have a little more strength. Okay? Next part, we all understand we're trying to roll over, and we're trying to stay out of vertical. For those of you who think the judges will kill you if you're not exactly horizontal, no, you will not die. But if you get above here, you start getting in deduction land. Okay? Some of you in the meet were very clear, and that's the first point I'd like to make. And Amanda, if you got this warmed up, I want to use you. Amanda is considered the example of the world, and the thing that she does very clearly and worked hard on, and some of you are grasping and some of you are not. You are on the straight. You fall and you turn a quarter. You go over. You finish exactly here. And we've got people over here and going over here. So I look at a lot of you and I say, geez, it looks like you're trying to do it on the diagonals. Okay? And it's done on the straight. It should look very squared off. We're going to go ahead and show them this is the finish. Yeah, they're waiting a minute. We're going to do that. We want, now that is all what you have to do. Everybody got that? It reads again internationally, this position, so it's not stick this hand beyond wherever you want to. It actually describes this as your support, and then you can flip over any way you want. They don't care what your arms do after that, just this first hit, okay? Your legs must be joined by the time the second hand hits, okay? And now, those are things you had to do. Next thing is style. The same thing we're doing on the get-up, and a lot of you are interpreting as this as arch to arch. I would prefer to refer to it as straight body, lean back to chest lift, which is a distinct difference between. So we'll practice some chest lifts with head releases. Release means if I had to hold something, I dropped it. So it's release, not ooh. Okay? So we're going to here, I'm going to do one of these, because I have no business after I don't work out for a week doing this, but I want to be clear. You have finished your element. You are here. You hold this position, and you're going to try to go back as far as you can this way with your head and your body in a straight line in your arm. And from there, you're going to release your head and lift your chest into the fall with the quarter. And we want to go back as far as each person can, more than we did before. See where she is? Straight, no arch. Now head release, chest lift. All the way until she falls into her quarter turn for her element. Is that clear? Good. You guys get go. Whatever you want to do. Just done this extremely, because we didn't want to show that much, so we just did a mini one when we were overseas. Go. What was that chest lift? See where she is? That's where the note we were here is. Yeah, I don't like it either, Dan. We're going to cheat here as much as we can, but you've got to think of this as the end mentally. So nothing's really going to change, except if your knees are hurting, don't let me hurt your knees while I'm talking. Stay where you are, kind of, but rest your knees. The lunge, when you stand up into it, is a strong, dynamic part. And then the run become the emotional part. So you shouldn't be coming up going, stand up, run, whatever. You need boom. And then you move away from that moment in time. We'll maybe get Gazer to do a couple because he's good at that, but it's that same feeling of that PK or best that freezes. It's that moment in time that's going to make our rhythms look wonderful. Okay? We are in this new accent down here. Okay? I'm being a righty, you could be a lefty. We'll figure it out in a minute. We want you to pass through the vertical we have. Which one? And then to coordinate here. Okay, so we have. And keep going right to your lunge. First time it stops is in lunge. And the lunge is as low as you can do it. All right, everybody sit down. I'll let Gaza get into this in a second. And Tammy, when I watch you and you're making a good effort to make this long, you're using the wrong part. You're getting so dominating in here that you're losing the feel of your body pulling this way and your head. So we get into this instead of the body and pushing. The lunge is low, it is quick, it is strong, and we want to get there as quick as we can so we can freeze it. Okay? So when you're here, if your knees are this bent, which they are, when you step to the lunge, this leg shouldn't straighten much. All you're going to do is straighten the back leg. Do you get it? Good. Tammy, Gaza, go.
Shoulders down, girl. Long. Reach the arms towards the diagonal. You're going to grow out of that arm to get into the next movement. If it's going straight to the ceiling and the focus is going out there, you're not going to grow.
You go there, you guys. Go there.
Your knees, if you're not strong and pressing through your body, this is never attractive. And a lot of you are still finishing. You're here, and you're still finishing because you think it's easier to get up here. So you're doing this instead of really thinking straight through the hips again. Straight through the hips so that when we come to here, we came up with leg strength and not with counterbalance and chest drop. Okay? All right. Gaza and Tammy are going to help you a little here, mostly with the feet and the presentation feel. We're going to go over this real fast because we get to the floor pad and you'll understand more. The semicircle will vary slightly in where it is going and how much it circles where by the height and the amplitude of the person on the next pass. Everybody can't start in that corner and make it to this corner properly. So we will teach you the part and we'll go over that later. 2, we have been going along with, till now, the arms that have been taught. But we will be freer than that. So if you have somebody who absolutely looks horrible, going run, 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 point. In other words, this position, lowering them in here. If they look absolutely hideous, you're open to trying other stuff. But other stuff doesn't mean, okay, other stuff means, okay, from here, a nice way in this range to come to here, okay? And you can have slight license in here. It's not arbitrary now. But in general, it's meant to be run, 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 and introduce the next pass. Feet, and these are, the text says, slow running steps. That means that both feet are off the ground, that we're not walking fast. And this is very important. Okay, 1 minute, go. The text is deviated in our direction. So they match what we did in Woolhazel, which was very gratifying feeling and quite glad to do good jeté alternance. So when you think of the pass bending, it is important to execute that bend in the air portion of your jeté. Does that make sense to everybody? So in general, your idea is, Amanda is a little too short to go straight, so I'm going to have her go straight. You want to go straight as you can on the chassé and the lead to get into here. And you're going to get off the way. Those of you who have done the drills with Tammy understand this perfectly. You want to get up and off here. You want to fan over and be in the air here. And execute a little bit of the turn here. Get this foot down, get this one out right away, and be in the air again. And your pass will curve in the airborne portions of your jeté alternance, and that is our goal. Our goal is to get off here, pass through second, wide, and to turn the hips only slightly for the landing. If you use this technique, if you look with your head where you're going too early, it'll prevent everything from happening. Remember, we've talked to you, arm in, arm out, instead of in and out. Okay. We came to a little system you don't know about. How to do the turn feet together afterward. So after you do this, I'm going to teach you that. And she does it, that's right. Those are very good. So everybody got an understanding of that? Now, the next part is very difficult. You guys who got the text by mail, I'm sure had a lot of trouble getting your athletes to close feet here. And it is a bummer. So Tammy and Geza and I met, and what we decided to try, Amanda pretends that she's landed her jeté alternance. We are going to press the blade of first immediately, with slightly crossed over, releve, and when it's where you want to place it, drop it right when you finish on feet. Okay? A little late to come across? Okay.
No.
I thought it looked good. Look good? Everybody happy? You guys see this? Because we had to solve the problem. We can't get anybody here looking stable. And we of all the ways we tried, this seems to be the best. And it is clearly described at the end, feet side by side. It is not feet fronting each other. It's a small point, but it's a good moment in the routine. And if we do it on time, there should be a good, strong presentation before all this stuff happens. Okay, does everybody understand that what you did so far? Okay, because we're going to do this whole section, and then your teachers are going to take you through whatever parts of the whole section. We're going to have about 5 minutes to work, and we're out of here. Okay, Sinead turns internationally are pretty pukey, so we're doing good. Turn 1, 2, 3, and you should try to be here for at least half of the last turn or longer. You don't want to just barely get your hands there and you're out of there. So you want to be showing the height that you've got to for a while. And then you've done your 3 turns. Show them the nice part. Yeah. So see where Amanda is? She takes her extra step forward and her palms change from here to here. This position is hard. 2 toes. Go. This is hard. And when we watched the other day, nobody in the whole day got this very well. So it's as erect a squat as you could do with buns under, head relaxed, showing 2 feet that look terrific. Cool. When you go to change direction, wherever you found yourself in the circle, the direction change comes at the top of the stretch jump. So you step like this. That hard.
Like from the kickball change.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody did the kickball change.
I know. Now you got both elements and the jump, and when you change direction, the manual assists whole things. We want to pause, and we know you can do it. It is not an element. It's an important moment in the connections. And we got a lot of admiration, and we want to keep pushing for this. What we tried to show on the film, if you're right coming to this side a little, there's a little nicer forward on this step. If you will now, remember your bow, I can lower my arm. Another time to do it. If you come through this way, it makes you stronger. You want to get a hold of your leg early. Not keep your leg up here and go. Wow. You can see your leg. It's wide. Cool. Alright? So you're here, and you're here. You can come down with your head here. See what's going on. I'm going to take you through it like you learned. Let's try to get it by there. You push on your base and you get your leg up first. Up first. And then the chest lifts and the head releases and we're going for oversplit. And then we stay where we are. We just let go of our legs to our ball change so we really don't have to be on balance to get back up. So we catch here and the head snaps up at the end. Again, from here when you're holding your leg, your arms drop again to come up in the ball change. So you had down, up, down, in. Okay, you want to do this ball change wherever the right there is. Take the change. Hop the change. On this turn, this is a half turn. Your arms move to here after they were here, but how you move them there is your coach's business. You do it in the best way your gymnast can keep her style going and her balance. In other words, if I'm here and I want to do this, that's acceptable. If I want to do this, it's acceptable. The final place, the half turn, the balance. Pretend like she tumbled. This is her end. She did her opening. Amanda, I made a little mistake with you on the film. My fault. When you do the ends, you want to go down, and you want to project back if you have room on the mat. Not go down, kneel, and stick your front leg out. And with my fault. Down and back. And notice Amanda's fingers are pointed forward for the health of our elbows through Atlanta. We don't want one person missing this and saying you're out of competition because we hurt your arm on a dumb pose. So fingers forward is not FIG, it is safety. It's another vow. I'll be a good example to all little kids. No one's going to break a thumb, and no one's going to hurt an elbow. And we'll do fine. Okay. Has everybody got that? Wrong turn, but close on the rest. Arms up. We get the gist? Your jeté entrepreneurs are not there. They are as hard as double layout. People are telling me, get them up there, get it straightened out. It will take you days of effort to get this correctly. Last thought, when you do the chassé, you want to travel, spring that step, and punch.
That's going to be really straight line. The option is like the middle line.
Here we are. Tammy, Biggs.
I do.
Biggs.
I can get
Come to me.
it on one line.
Where's Biggs?
Tammy.
Tammy! We're up. Jenny, you're the shortest we got here. I need somebody. Who's a righty? We need 2 lefties and 2 righties. Who's a tall righty? A tall righty or make your choice. So just because we do a little person's floor pattern and a big person does it, don't get angry when you get amplitude deduction. If you are tiny, this is KK. We're going to assume that after she had done her first tumbling pass and she did the hitch kick and the kneel through and the come up, that her ability to get down here is probably going to be limited to somewhere in here. And we're going to assume that since she's taller, get your people set up, she can probably get way over here like I can. The mat is divided in thirds. Even when you work this way, it's divided in thirds. Our guideline is that on this open, to here, we are going to try to stay inside this mark. Most of you don't project this way far enough. You're in the developmental years, the answer to your problem is not to stand here so you can get there easy. Don't kid yourself because you're going to come from a straight line here. Development gets ready for reality. Not let's score today, so I'll start up here so I'm safe. So, she's going to come to run, jump tour somewhere in here. She's going to end up, point facing this way. She's going to wave her arm, come to this direction, and she's going to end up somewhere in the same place. Tammy, take them up there. Because she would be standing on her spot as well. All right, now, KK short, she's going to come back with her PK air vest and be here. She's going to have trouble getting to the corner. So when she goes for a tourgitate, she's going to take a beeline. Tourgitate. Split. Wall step. And our goal is to get here on the turn. But step is tall. When she did her air vest, she's going to have great amplitude. She's going to round here and end up at the same point on the tourgitate as KK did, and she's going to end up here. Tammy, you got it? If you're a lefty, watch your lefty.
Don't go over the line.
Good. I'll explain where we're going, you do the parts, and we'll just keep going. Okay? Go, Sam. No. Curve towards Tammy. See Tammy? Curve. Not what you've done, what she's telling you to do here, Sam. Towards Tammy. Good. All the way up to Jenny, and you can tighten that corner. Get up to the corner, girls. All right, now. Both of them have the same problem. If you can't reach over there, note that on the aerial you have a choice of running steps. Don't think of deciding how many steps based just on aerial. Because we know if we do our job right, we can do one from a stand. Do it based on the length, also, of your problem. You may not reverse this turn. There will be no way to reverse this turn, ever, because the floor pattern must be exact. So Fig says if you cannot maintain the floor pattern, then you have to reverse the entire exercise. So am I clear? There's no way to keep the floor pattern and reverse the turn. So you're locked. If you're doing righty, you're doing righty turn. You're doing lefty, you're doing lefty turn. Other elements can be reversed. This one cannot. Okay. She may not reverse between aerial walkover and round-off. If it's the right aerial, it's the right round-off, or the opposite. But KK's probably going to want to take 2 running steps and a good hurdle so that she has no problem going all the way down here on an extension rope. And Steph might have to elect to take 1 step. Take 1 step hurdle, pretend, and go on down. This should be a little closer to the corner. All the way down. All right. Now, when you locomote here, you need to show forward, across. So if you end this pass up here, And now it's time to step across. Half of you look like you're going down the middle of the mat. So you got to remember, you got to take this pass over to here. So when you start forward and you come in, it looks like this pass is fairly close to the side where it belongs. Okay, everybody switch. Boom. Okay? And Steph and Sam are going to find themselves here. Okay? Now, you may adjust the curve of your running step. So after you go here, you're going to do your little element. You're going to end up with one more foot here. Okay? Now, if they are short, take the curve that way. So KK's going to buzz off towards Misty. Okay, so you do your lunge. So you're going to go curve this way and get as far as you can. Okay? So judges, you can see she's almost halfway down. A good third. But Steph is taller and so is Sammy. So when she curves, she's going to bend a little forward, go here. She's going to come around and find herself more here. You make individual adjustments. Make sure that with the tiny one, it doesn't look like you're starting in the middle of the mat. That wouldn't be good. But get away from that corner as much as you can to look right. We okay over there? Okay. Does everybody understand the next part? Try to go as sideways as you can. Chassé, lead, turn. So we turn the corner on the jeté entraînage, and then we're going to find ourselves somewhere here. Big person. She's going to try to go here as much as she can. We get the amplitude, and we're going to turn over here. And we're going to end up in the same place as she did, but a little more forward. When you face this way, it's on the diagonal, but it's not provided in the place. It's almost to the corner. I didn't know any way else to describe it. We're all different places. Okay, we got it? Now, after we point our toe, after this whole series, you want to bring them first? You're each going to go straight, so you're going to find yourselves in different places. Now you're down in your squat. Are you okay? You change direction at the top of your jump. As far as I know, that's when you decide you're going to face the corner. So you jump up, your jump faces the corner. So if it's a 1/8 turn, a 2/8 turn, a 10/16, we don't care. Corner. And then we say, big shot. No. Girls, one device has not been used. The hop is the connection, not an element. If you need to hop to get there, use it. Don't make the hop straight up. So come along, say chassé. When you get to the hop, let it keep going so you get up to where you have to tumble. If you're a person who has to just die to go to the bathroom, if you all go at the same time, we're dead person. Because the bathroom only holds a couple down there and a couple over here. Okay? So during the course of the two, we must get balance beam done in about 30 minutes. Okay? We're not going to get on the beam. Coaches, if you have questions on elements that are on the beam and not on the floor and you can't understand it, get them garnered into one group and we'll zip through them. We'll try to leave 5 minutes. Okay. Tammy's got the right lefties. We'll get on a clean part of the mat for a second. So we're in the support. Those of us who've been around know that I think it's better to straddle your legs and push down your arms to turn, because then we can put our butts in the middle, but it's a connection, so if you find another clever way, be my guest. At the end of that turn, as we put our seat down, leg one comes up. During the raising, the lifting of the second leg, of the second leg, the arm circles and the hands are behind. You must have, this is a strong clue, you must have posture and you must have straight elbows. And whatever that takes in stretching and reaching further back, you've got to do it. There is no way that you will get a fine score on beam if your posture's here and your elbows are bent. It is one of the two places in the exercise that a connection becomes overly important in terms of spore reflection. Fine. Okay? Internationally, it will reflect again that you must get at least to here on your chest roll before your hands go in. We are presently doing two ways. Some of us are achieving success by extending and rolling from behind. Some of us are achieving success by squeezing our thighs and rolling off vertical. Those are fine methods. I haven't seen a third one that works as well as those two, but we've talked about this a lot. Kim, give me your feet. Lay on your back. Go up into a high, hollow, like this. You should try to achieve getting your head out while you are still moving from this range to this range. Lots of you are still dropping your bun, and you're still crooked on your shoulder. We've talked about this at training camps. Coaches, you know what I'm talking about? We had a drill for it at camp. Kim's never done it, I don't think. Do a headstand. Someone pay attention. And the drill is, I'm in straight and I'm under. I'm going to go to a slight arch by moving my feet, and that's when I'm going to move my head out. Ready, heads up. Go. You don't need to go over the side of your head. It's a headstand, you're just forward. So what we're trying to do is as they move their feet, we're bringing the head in. So we're here, and the same thing happens from here. As you move from under vertical to here, it's when your head goes. The closer you get to that, the more you'll roll down the center of your spine instead of down your shoulder to your butt. Drill again. Then I'm going to come grab your feet. It's kind of like handstand forward rolls at force. Under. Now start moving your feet. Moving your head now. Then stand. Start your head. Yeah, keeping this straight. So she's going to roll from here down, and that headstand, this to this, is what you're going to be doing from here to here. Okay, we'll try. Have I been obscure? Has everybody got the general gist? Good. Get in your squat. The back jump comes directly from the roll. Sit down this way, don't kill you. You may not say address the issue of, can you cheat? Very directly. No, you cannot. So they very directly said you can't roll up with your right foot behind and stack. However, they admitted that they might be hard-pressed to notice it in the middle of 300 routines. But the answer is no, you can't cheat. But if by accident it happened to you in a routine, you're better off going and risking a very slight deduction than you are replacing your foot, stopping and jumping. So if it happened because you lost it on the roll, don't readjust your feet and stop and jump. Just go. Change them on the jump. Okay? The nice thing that happened is we have more latitude with our arms. On the roll to the jump, we can be here, 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 entirely up to a blink. Anywhere in here, we'll be fine. Okay, you guys do a baby roll. Do the jump. Stop. Rest a second. Do your old forward roll straight jump that you did when you first started your basketball. Quick, forward roll straight jump. And jump. Now, I want you to jump from here. You're both going to here and jump. One more forward roll. You've heard that from Nancy. And jump. Jump. Earlier. One here. Get more speed. Jump out of the base. And jump. First one, it's the right idea. The closer we can get from jumping out of the roll into the jump instead of roll, stand halfway up, and then get the dynamics the better. Jimmy, can you relate that to roll and stack jumping? And jump. That's what we'd like to look like for you. You did your stack position too early. You jump a hair longer, you get split. Just try it, Summer. Think. And jump. Better. Yes. There was recently an article by a friend of mine in Technique discussing how the body can help you land elevations. If, like me, occasionally you were confused by terminology, call her. She talks. Get in your landing position. Summer, take a glass. When you land, all of our landings, we have so many of these in the being compulsory, we have to work at getting over the center of our weight so this part of our body is helping our landing. It's real clear. We're going to bug you at training camps. You're still landing and trying to be behind center and counterbalancing. please work on having your weight over your base, okay? All right, it's going to happen like a bunch of times in the routine. Okay, do you know the next part? Can I see you go walk, walk, in the point? Good. Very good. Stay in this position. This is not important. Kimmy's position is well. She knows the plie person is behind her, so she was sure. No, unless you knew. But you can be visual, and it's probably intelligent to be visual. So your end of your beam's down here. You can see the beam. That's the way it's written. The one comment by Ludmila was they would like to see both legs straightened enough. So it isn't a high transfer, but they'd like to see the extension of both legs. Okay? And move, ta-da. Good. Very good. If the plie is on center here, then the releve will be unbalanced. Find a focus. This part exists, it's 1 second, and it's important on your deduction sheet. Now and into your future. Let me see your releve. Arms are closed. Our aim is here, but we'll accept what Kimmy's doing. That's good. Summer, let's go. Good girl. One more time. Now, Summer counterbalances a little bit. That worries me because I can give her the wiggles into the cartwheel. But from what I can see and how they look, if we really have to adjust a little, but we get that leg up, we're better off score-wise to do it. So we're going to work at being straight, but if we have to make some adjustments to get the amplitude, that's what they're going to judge. Okay, so that little bit that Summer's cheating, if she wasn't going to lose her balance because of it, it probably is a fairly sensible choice. So she'd rather be here, but go off the road. She did that the first time. If she could be on balance and not mess up her cartwheel or lose her balance and be here, it'd be acceptable, score-wise. Okay. You must execute the cartwheel laterally. It goes hand, hand, foot in rhythm. The landing is sideward, and the turn must be executed so that the finish of the quarter turn, the leg, the free leg, the working leg, is above horizontal. Horizontal is your litmus. Any lower, and up 2 deductions will be taken. Okay? Good luck. I see you. Summer don't want to face me, because I just hammered her here. No, it wasn't that. All right, look at your plies. Get in your line. Now make your thighs touch. Get your knees forward. Because it affects the next turn. Get your knee. You're telling me you can't be long and low if you are also over your leg, and I'm going to tell you. Get there. Good. The reason this position is important, coaches, is not just for the beauty of the shape, but because this is the landing of our cartwheel. And we need to be solid here. We need the hips to be square. And because we're going to turn next, and we don't want to have to adjust our center position to be on balance on the turn. Rest a second. I'm going to do this with each of you, okay? Pretend like you landed the cartwheel, Cam. It's not a bad time. You're going to want to initiate the turn here, not here, and I saw lots of kids doing that. It's not going to help you. Ready, and initiate, and plie, and thighs touch, arms here. Good. One by you, then wait to go. Initiate. Yes. Thank you, Summers. Very clear. Hip down. Stay there. Hip down. Right hip down. Very good. If you're here, 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 whatever you like, you're going to ask that I drop my arm when I turn. The answer is I'm always truthful. If you dropped your arm and made all the other criteria, fine. But I will tell you to hit this, not your number one choice. So it is best to stay here. Okay? This changed a little as you saw from the changes. It's now 1 turn. Okay, both of you go. And 1 turn. Yeah. Everything's on 1 turn. 1 turn. It can be a little quicker, but it's the order. Whether they pause between or they continue, that is fine. It's just that we want this position before the spin. Okay, and one more time, and arms turn. Good. In this place, they have total license. They may go leg, arms, arms, legs, both at the same time, on their toe, on their flat foot. We don't care as long as they look good and set them up for the next part. Okay, let's go. Kimmy first. Where keep going? Kimmy first. Where's that keep going? Go talk to Tim. Let's go right there. Stop right there. Stop. Right there. Stop. Stop. Just jump half turn. All the way to jump half turn. Stop. Everybody's seen this a bunch of times. And arms down, up, down, up, down, up. Who is the person you said could do jump half turn? Point. Find them. It's pretty good. Someone you do and do it again. It's very good. May I see you jump half turn, please? Can you get a little further here before you turn? You can coach it. Yeah. You notice that what she's working on is hard to be passed straight in the air at a point of the jump half turn. And then to contract very late. She's dynamic in the air, she's coming down fast and getting to her stop point. And that's essentially the change in the element compared to what we understood a while ago. Summer, can you emulate that a little bit? Because you get a nice stretch in the air. And get there. All right. When you get there, you have a range that as long as you're below the halfway point, as long as you remember that the body weight is an element, and when they go from this position to the element, the weight, they have to go all the way down to deep knee before they come up, because the wave is a maximal wave. Okay? So both of you, that's good. Can I have one more? One more, and you go at the same time? Let people see jump half turn. Both doing a good job. Toes? Good. Okay, good. Thank you. Are you straight now, Kimmy? Come back to me. Our fute hop is considered the best one. We're doing good. We've talked about it for a century. I sent Kimmy back in the back to work on arm dynamics with Tammy. You can see Summer's arms are helping her. Kimmy's weren't. Okay, one more performance, both of you, whichever one wants to go first. Should I give you a drum roll for arms? No. And a righty? No, left. Yeah. Left, left, and left. Up a jump half turn. So your coach could just stand here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is our goal. But we're not going to get that goal with balance if we go down the beam going 1, 2, 3, 4, which is what a lot of you did in the competition. It is just a killer. You will not grow. Okay. From here, the body weight, please. Both of you stand and relax. After you're in this position, you must return to D, way back up. Maximal means for face, a little sharper. Sharp. Sharp. Get more weight in your back foot, Summer, so you don't look like you're looking down. A little more command. You look down with your arms. Okay, ready? And wave, hit. Okay, and now ready? We're going to scale, arms, and 1, 2, pause, no. 1, 2, pause. I don't mean to yell at them in front of you. We didn't have a chance to get prepared. Ready? And 1, 2, pause, scale. When I say the word scale, your arms and your legs must be there. When I'm saying pause, you must still be paused. Do you understand? You're not dynamic enough in itself. Ready? Arms up, and 1, 2, pause, scale. That's right. Now let's tighten up our buns, press our foot so we don't fall over doing it right. That was correct. Ready? Arms up, and 1, 2, wait. 2, you should be touching. Your pause needs to be a genuine pause, both for rhythm and also to get ready. Are you ready? One more time. And 1, 2, pause. There, 1, 1001, 1, 1002. Now you may move your arms toward the handstand. Up, close, and open. Down, squat. Rest. You may bring your arms this way to squat, no one's going to kill you. You really should go a little further back. But if this is easier, you're perfectly allowed to do that. The depth of the squat should be deep enough that it can be called a tuck stand, but not so deep that they can't be dynamic and rhythmic getting out in the next part. So you will work with them so that they're looking like they're deep, but down in that bottom third of the bed. Don't take them down so deep that the next part becomes a real problem. The officiating, besides all those nice things that we have on our paper, we will look at, the evaluation will look at, not cheating on being straight, bum, and all that, but we will look hardest at rhythm. So it will be there, boom, there. And we didn't understand that until recently. Okay, so one more time, we're gonna go 1, 2, bop. They have this in the text, which amazed me, so we'll continue doing it. Ready? And 1, 2, ready again. And 1, 2, pause, there. 1, 1001, 1, 1002. Arms, and there. Close, there. Circle, squat. Okay, and you must show arabesque, scale through arabesque before you drop to the squat. Now, unless somebody's worked with you, and I know they haven't for a while, and the next part is not 1, 2, like we thought originally. They caught it, and drop, that fast. And they did that over and over again. So give it a cut. Just go ahead and practice it. It's kind of shocking. No, 1 was too long. It's got to be bump, bump. Bump, bump. We got that? Ready and go. Official film it. Bump, bump. No, you're too busy doing this, so it's slowing you down. Little clues that help. At least me. When you're here, out. You understand? Little. Good. Now this next part, I will tell you how it's written. I will endeavor to explain it, but if you're looking for a good example, it's not going to come from me. This is not an easy thing for me. It is described and it was taught this way. 1, you keep going pretty fast now. You went pop, pop, and you're here, I'm a righty. It's described to lower the heel and lower the arm. So the weight stays here. So it's here, and then what we do, what they call a wave, is just an upper body contraction flow. She emphasized going pop, pop, down, and then whoa, 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 and then continue. So this was really slow, and everything else was really fast. You okay on all that? Go slow the first time you're having trouble. You keep your weight here. This is second. You okay? Now you're going to go here. Here. Now you're going to do this. You're going to do the flow. That's straighten. Pass to this position. So we go. Okay? And that flow goes through that position we knew, which is high sideways, oblique, and sideways. We pass through that to curve the arm on the crossover. The head remains in place as we do this. And we have been teaching the children, this part has been so rough in some ways, that of all the things that we've tried, this has been by far the best. So after you get, it's like a walking step. It's like being ready to take some steps into ballerina. So that is the feel. It's this kind of thing. All right? So that's what we're trying to do there. We want to get squared off. So we should be on balance here. From here, we want to go releve through 2 legs, 2 toes, up, so we can come down into this. Okay? You may adjust their hands in the touch to whatever you think looks best on them. The head must remain where we came from. And I fought that a little. So I thought, well, this is hard. The body should be inclined rearward, and the knees, thighs should be touching. If they have to be up on their toe to do that, do it, but I wouldn't do any more than I had to right now because the back walker were coming next. Most important to get the position. Okay, so you know what we got? We got pop, pop, lower, up, cross, walk, up, and touch, up, touch. 2, you should pass through boom, boom, to boom. On balance, on balance, on balance. No. Watch. What not to do. This foot's not there. This is unbalanced. I'm on balance. I'm going to releve to pass through fourth. Fourth has equal weight on both legs, so I went from this leg to 2 legs to pushing to transfer to this leg, and now I play it. We've done a lot of learning to bend back unbalanced and come back up. We discovered our children could not do back bend and just touch the floor delicately and come up. Were you one of them? Did I torture? All right, somebody throw me that. Give me that thing. Throw it. You got one in you, Kimmy? What? Got one in you? So we start a real quick go. And back. Where only goes head. Bending here, 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 lifting the chest. Go back to pick up the towel. And we found out they couldn't do that. So we started there. Be careful. They don't bend that much. You don't want to bend that much. 2 or 3 of these every other day is good. You don't want to say, gosh, we want to learn the walkover. Let's do 100 today. Okay? Then we took the same drill and we did standing up. I'll help you. Stand. Go.
Make it follow this.
Help you. We worked on head, on balance, released upper body, and we would yell stop. And if they fell over, it was rough. Go a little further and stop. Go a little further. Go ahead. You need to grab our towel and come up so we can learn to control our weight. Most of our kids are falling on their arms in the back walkover. They're transferring instead of being on balance and transferring the hands. And the last drill, which leg is it? Left leg line down. As they walk to the balance beam, put their foot up on the end of the beam, but I'll be the beam. But I'll also help you. And you walk to the end of the beam and you go back bend. You may not get to this drill the first week. And after you can do your towel drill, you're ready to do great back walkover. Lay down your foot. Push up to the back foot. And next, put your leg up. Keep your bent. Those legs, hands in closer. We practice learning to go rock your shoulders, straighten your back. Rock your shoulders, straighten your back. And once they get that idea, everything goes much better. Okay? Now I can do the back walkover to knee scale. It clearly says in the description to, not just through knee scale. So we got to be really sure that we're doing this well and that we're coming up through here before we swing this leg to here. They liked what we did, it's there. When we stand up, the idea to set up the turn is the same as it is in the floor. There is a quarter turn. So again, we have those same rules. We would like to be erect and here with our arms, not here. We want them to take their arms sideways first. So when we go to be turning, we could do the easiest way we could do this turn. So when to go arm and up. So it looks like it walks in, not stops in. Were they good at that? Did you all right? In the tested further, we're going to hold this for 4 counts. We all know this. Get up in your position, then go to the next one. And leg forward. Ready, and step. For those of you who have not been at training camp and don't know this, Kimmy did a great job. I assume Summer did too because they looked really armed. But I can't see you through her. You guys are like, now. We are emphasizing pulling down to first before we step forward so we can bring the turn to a finish. And Kim did a real good job of that. So we don't think step because it's going to be hard to control ourselves. Now the turn. So we're really working on pull. Step. Kimmy did a real good job. Both of you go. You know what I'm talking about? Summer, we did that, right? I can't remember the last time we did that. Pull, step. Oh, beautiful. Okay, you may use your arms a little more accenting when you're here. Pull and boom. The last half has a little more whoop to it. With 1 step, fine. 2's fine. 3's fine. 10's fine. Get down there and get turned around. We want you to run down the beam for the dismount. Those of you who are still saying, go to the middle of the beam, standing handspring front. If this is developmental, where are you going? So, don't cheat yourself. The judges cannot totally kill you if you do a great handspring front. You chose to do it your way. But we want you to run down the beam. one step or two. I want to see you down here and dismounting down there. All right, so we're down here. Remember I said warning, be set. This is your same light bulb. This is another place that seems to be more important than other connections. You must have amplitude on these leg swings at least to 45. Okay, so go, and 1, and 2. Kimmy's trying to stay on her toe, and that's nice. But that is not as important as plie and get set for that dismount. So if she plies her leg properly, she can do it on her toe. But first you have to do the element correctly, and then add the toe. The toe is the dressing. Okay, but watch, you hear? Get this to help you. The dismount should come from this position. Boom, boom. You're going to pull to here, boom, boom. But no, there is not kick, pose, stall, stall, get ready, handspring front, okay? You all understand how you're judged on the front. If you fall forward, run forward, your coach catches you or anything like that after you've made it, it's good. If you sit back, you get a deduction. Must clearly be one leg at a time. I know that we were so perfect on balance beam that you have no questions. Because now, Steve,
There.
are there anybody? It is now Mr. Elliott,
Just finding my kids here.
our jack of all trades and our training staff, our world tumbling crazy person who is now involved. Coaches, give him a shot. If Steve has to leave and you want to stay back and argue with me, you may. I'll stay.
Ariel.
So we get going, get on the ball team. I saw a lot of good whip tumbling this weekend. I think it's very encouraging. I think a lot of kids are starting to do some good things. I just want to go over some things that I want us to try to work towards so that our whip tumbling is much better and that we can get this compulsory pass to look awesome at the end of the floor routine. The only problem I've seen really with this routine is that you get to the end, you get a little tired, so the round-off whip back suffers into the last pass. So technique is going to be very important into doing this pass properly. Basically, the pass is a round-off whip back handspring, tuck open. The better that our round-off whip back turns over, the more power and the more explosiveness the tuck open is going to be. So I think we have to start real quickly and talk a little bit about the round-off, about how we're going to get into the whip back, and then how we can transfer that momentum into the tuck open. Here, Kimmy. We've all been over the round off and whip. I just want to go over a couple things. Face forward. All right. On the round off, we just want to maintain this shoulder angle staying open. What I'm starting to see is a lot of people trying to get too much power and speed in the round off whip back, so they end up reaching the floor with their shoulders closed a little bit. As soon as this happens in the round off, then everything's going to get cut off. The round off will cut off, it'll be piked, and the whip back will also be too quick and end up piking. So we need to continue in the round off to keep pushing hips forward, keeping shoulder angle open, and keeping this stretch all the way through the round off. Okay? Finish the round off. Again, we want to be nice and hollow. Our hips tucked under, this opened up so we can get everything falling backwards. Now the difference between this round off and the normal round off you do a back handspring out of is that we've got to finish it a little taller than we do coming into a back handspring. A back handspring, you can sit and you can be pushing back more. But in order to get our arms and our body in position to do a whip back, we've got to stay in this position, but we've got to be taller so that we can open this up and back into the whip back. Everything should be hollow, tight arch, back to a hollow. From the beginning of the round off, staying rounded, keeping the arms by the ears, finishing the round off hollow, and then opening this back up. We should have very little movement throughout the body, from this hollow to a tight arch. The less angle you have in the shoulders and the hips, the better you're going to be able to rotate out of it. Okay? Let's all just do a nice, easy round off. Scoot up a little bit. I don't want you to run too far. I want you to land here and kind of falling back out of it. Arms by your ears, nice and hollow. Okay, good. All right, don't lean forward too much. Good. One more time, on that. We're going to just kind of, same thing, land on the mat and then fall back hollow. I'm seeing some kids, these guys did a little bit landing and they're trying to do this too much. Shoulders have got to be behind the hips so that we can get the arms back into that whip back much faster. Some kids that are doing good whip back are having a problem landing too far forward so their arms don't get up into the whip back and they end up closing the shoulder angle too early. Okay, just do a round up onto it. Okay, she landed a little tight. We want to get off the hands much quicker so we can stand up, get our body turned over without bending at the hips. And you can do a lot of drills up onto a mat or even into a pit, getting off the hands and standing up. Okay, that wasn't too bad. All right. Once we start getting that round off to get turned over, again, it's got to rotate a little bit more because we got to get our body position for a whip back. Those of you that have been to training camps with me and so forth, you know all the back handspring drills we do. We're going to do that real quick. Just do hands, snap to hollow. I'm just working on body position from the floor. Open the shoulders. Okay, just landing. Nice. Working on shoulders open, snapping to hollow, keeping this rounded so there's not a flange, and then we're reaching back to the floor. Okay, hips need to be open in this whip back, staying tight, shoulders, hips past vertical before the snap occurs. I do this a lot in back hamstrings just to work body position, but it's even more important when we start getting in the whip back. Because if the hips don't get past vertical before they snap the whip back, they're going to end up piking down and the momentum slows down. Okay, so we really do a lot of these type of drills, trying to get the hips over the top, reaching the arms back, keep the shoulder angle open before the snap occurs. Just do one more from the hands. Nice and easy, nice and easy. Okay, really want her to feel the hips press over before she snaps. Now, in doing the whip back, I really stress getting arms, head, and chest back, getting this open as much as possible so the hips will come over the top quick. Okay, that position should stay open, past vertical, before the snap occurs so that when she snaps, momentum is still moving backwards. If she snaps too early, she's going to pike down and the hips will stop. The hips have got to keep moving as she snaps through. So she can think about doing the back handspring, reaching all the way back before the snap occurs, she'll have momentum as she snaps. Okay? So when she does the whip back, it should look like she's going to do a back handspring and then she snaps to a hollow. Okay, a little early with the arms. I want to see your arms back, almost reaching to the ground a little bit more. Okay, better. Ladies, want to come up? Do it. Just do that. Okay, so back in that way. Okay, good. Okay. Now, Ani closed her shoulder in a little early, okay? You can see how she did this a little early. Good. Okay. Ani can do one more. Okay, better. You saw the result. When she did finally snap, she snapped through and her momentum was moving backwards. I do a lot of these things on the mat or in the pit so they're not afraid to snap through and fall back. We want that momentum to continue. If you work whip backs and they land and they stop right here, their feet are behind them. You want their feet behind. You want them snapping through and keeping momentum going backwards. Okay. One of the things that I've worked with some of the kids in the last year or so with the arms is a lot of times kids, once they get this position, they have a tendency to snap. They close the shoulder angle and end up slowing the momentum down by coming forward. So what we've started to work is a continuation of the arm swing so that the arms come up over the top, and when it's time to snap, the arms make a little circle and then finish in a hollow. The arms are continuous. The arms go back, snap here, they land here, so when they land, they can use their arms again. And Kim does that pretty well, okay? Do it back. Watch your arms, see if she circles those arms. Okay? And that a lot of times will alleviate the arms coming back straight down and closing the shoulder angle. Some of the girls that did the testing and the compulsory this weekend, I saw a few kids did that, and it looked very nice. So the more that they can finish the round off taller, shoulders back more, get the hips pressed over, circle the arms through, the easier they're going to be able to move out of it. All right? Let's go ahead. Okay. One more. You can see the difference between those two. Ani has a tendency to do that a little early. And in doing that, she has a tendency to pike and then not be able to move out as fast. As you do these, also, you might work whip back, immediate back handspring. Again, trying to keep the momentum moving backwards. Okay? Now, as you start working the arm swing, gymnasts, you've got to be real particular about once you're able to use this technique, you're going to find that as you pull your arms through and you snap through, you're really going to be cranking backwards. So you got to be comfortable with picking up that speed and being able to work with it. I think that's the biggest problem in our whip tumbling is we're a little bit afraid to really snap through and get moving. All right? One other thing in the whip back, just lay back. A lot of times, again, we talk about snapping too early. Once they get to here, if they snap before the hips pass vertical, go ahead and snap. The hips drop. You notice the hips drop, and that's why they lose a lot of the momentum and end up hiking down. So that's why that once they get to this position, they've got to use here more. Real tight before they snap. So you got to really think about keeping the hips over the top, keeping the body position open as long as possible until you snap through. Okay? All right, back handspring out of the whip back is going to have to be a little bit longer because now you have all this backward momentum and you've got to take it and block it up in the air for the tuck open. So to finish the back handspring, it's got to be stretched, be behind so you can block and stand up for the tuck. Okay, once you guys go, round off whip back handspring. Do that part now. One of the things I've done too, I've tried to tell the kids not to rush the round off whip. If they take their time doing a nice round off, a nice whip back, once you do snap the whip back, that's where you snap through and pick up the speed. Don't try to do a fast whip back, just try to work out of it fast. Okay? Okay? If she doesn't get her feet through, she's going to end up throwing her shoulders back and bending her arms a little bit on that back handspring. Okay? Emma only has a problem occasionally doing this early and gets her chest out instead of coming back to Holly. She uses those arms pretty well. Okay, Ani's just a little high. Okay, one more time. Reach all the way back. Get your arms narrow, then circle. Okay, a little closer. Just to get back to a hollow. One more on you. Narrow. That. Okay, good. Again, what Ani's doing is very common. You guys get about to here and you start snapping, you never quite open it up and then snap through. Okay? But the more that you open the body up before you snap through, the more momentum you're going to have, and it's going to have a better rhythm. Okay? Okay, come up, let's talk about tuck open real quick. Now the biggest problem that some kids have with the tuck open is that they've got all this momentum created into the back tuck, and if you don't block, you're going to take off and your arms, head, and chest are going to be falling backwards. If you're leaning back too much, you're not going to be able to establish a good tuck before you open. So it's going to start looking like a bent-legged layout. So the transfer of momentum, you've got to stay long in the back handspring, so when you stand up nice and hollow and not let the shoulders pull back. Okay, just do a couple, some back tuck. Now one thing to think about on the tuck is to stand up hollow, nice and tall, keeping the head in alignment, and tuck by tilting the hips, not by throwing the head and shoulders back. Okay, just a tuck. Okay? All right. Now this also gets support when you start getting involved. The only way that you're going to be able to get in and then out and still have rotation to extend your body open and not tight down is to be able to lift tall and rotate with the hips and not the shoulders. So they've got to be able to have enough rotation here with the hips so when they do open, your chest is still rising. Okay? Let's do the tuck open for our stomach here. What she's going to do is she's going to do back tuck, round, and then open, landing on her stomach on the mat here. Okay? What we're going to try to do is that when she does that, she's lifting her head up, she's pressing her shoulders back, she's lifting here. This is real tight. Okay? That way we can get extended about 45 degrees below horizontal, below vertical, and then just keep lifting the chest to finish. Okay. All right, pull your shoulders back just a little bit. One more. Good. And you can start, if you start to develop the confidence of doing that, then once you start to block the back handspring up, stand up tall, and go tuck open, then it's going to have a nice floating action in the air. The tuck should happen right as you take off. You extend the body, tuck quick so that you have time to open, and it's still floating in the air. If you don't start to open till the way down, you're most likely going to kick down, and you're not going to be able to show that horizontal opening. Okay? Kim, let's do one more. This time, this is kind of the next step you can do with that. Same thing here. Okay? You can help lift, and then hold that position. Don't lift this too hard. Hold your shoulder. Okay? All right, one more time. Just got to get a little bit more tuck. Yes. Okay. Let's try those from here. One of the things that you have to be careful about is that if the shoulders get back too far on takeoff, you might think you're tucking, but you might just be doing this. You want to see 90-degree tuck here before the opening. You don't have to hold it, you don't have to grab it, but you have to show it extension, round it so it's 90 degrees, and then extend and open. Think about your knees coming up, stopping the feet, lifting the chest. Okay? Okay, not too bad. Floating back a little bit. The vision of this should be round off with flip-flops, boom, tuck over. Okay, and not just the same height. Okay. Okay. Very nice. If you can work towards that, the only thing she needs to do is control the block in the tuck open. It's a little whippy, but she has close to the right idea. Okay. Her problem starts early in the whip back. Okay, one more. Try to stay tall now. Really block tall in the tuck. Tall. Open. Very nice. Maybe just lift your head up and show a little bit more flare on the inning. That's the right idea. Okay. Good. Okay. She has the right idea on the kick open. The problem is again, if the shoulders go back, you lose the contrast of going from a good tuck to an explosive opening. If you end up like this, that's not much of a contrast. The more that you can stand up, show that tuck, and then open, the better. And Kim does that real well. Okay, any questions? Yes, no? Comments? Okay.
There's no counter on
That's a good question. Good question. Question was, on the tuck kick out, on takeoff, is there a counter? In other words, does she drop her shoulders a little bit? I think depending on how powerful you are, and if that's something that you might have to think about, you can do that. I do that. Once I take off, once I start to rotate, I keep my chest down to keep me from rotating real hard so that when I open, I can open it back up. So if you want to think about taking off, actually dropping your shoulders forward on the tuck, and you still have enough momentum to open, that's fine, because then what you're doing is you're really overemphasizing that tuck position. Don't do it so much that you can't get out of it. Okay? All right, anything else? Again, the emphasis is going to be on getting a good round-off whip back. Then pick up speed into the last skill. You rush the round-off, you're probably going to pike the back hand or the whip back. The back handspring is going to be slow, and the tuck open is probably going to be whipping. So you got to be able to create momentum, but also block it out of the back handspring. High tuck, nice foot open. Okay. Okay, thank you. Let's get ready for vaulting. Come on over. But one of the things that we have to emphasize is the fact that this vault is not going to be very awesome vault unless we do all the steps prior to it properly. Meaning the run, the board approach, position in the air, and so forth. I know that some of us have talked about our running technique, and some of us still need a lot of work on being able to get our run to the board much more aggressive, and that it accelerates to the board aggressively. I hear a lot of people still stutter stepping in the last 2 or 3 steps before the board, and we're slowing our rotation or our momentum down by doing that. So I think as you start to do this vault, as well as any other vault, you have to remember all good basics of running. Pushing off the back leg, getting the back leg extended into the run, swinging our arms relaxed, but by the sides and get them moving. Okay, keeping our shoulders in front of our hips, keeping moving forward. I know that running is a thing that sometimes you guys just come to the gym with. You never really learn in the gym, but something you need to concentrate on, because if you're not a very fast runner or a very aggressive runner, you're probably not going to be that aggressive in the vault. So the run is important, even though we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. Okay? The biggest concern about this compulsory vault has been the body position from the board to the horse. Now, I highly recommend an underarm swing front in the hurdle so the arms come around close to the body and reaching up and forward, getting real strong and extended to the horse, keeping our head in, shouldering open, and driving with the heels staying real tight. And one thing we try to emphasize is not getting turned too early off the board. There's several reasons for that. First of all, the longer that you can establish a handspring tight takeoff, that your heels are driving square, the more power and momentum you're going to have coming off the board into the vault. As soon as you start turning off the board, you start losing some of that momentum, and you start getting legs apart, loose body, and so forth. So what we really want to emphasize is getting a nice square takeoff from the board to the horse so that we establish heel drive first before we start to initiate the turn. Now, depending on how powerful you are, will probably determine or dictate when you're going to start to turn. What we want to try to emphasize is that the turn does not happen until after horizontal. In other words, it's coming from the board. Once you establish horizontal heel drive, you can start turning the body into the half on. Turn should happen with the upper body turning the shoulders and not so much turning the hips right away. A lot of people will come off the board, and right as they come up, they're already dropping the shoulder and turning the body in this way. So if your feet come apart on the takeoff of the board, you're probably turning too early, most likely. And that's something that the judge is going to be looking for. But more importantly, we want this to be an aggressive rotating vault. And the way to do that is to have an aggressive heel drive before the turning action. Okay? Where's Timmy? In your notes, you read a little bit about what Artemov does on the half-on and so forth. Obviously, we work very strong, aggressive handspring. You need to have a very good handspring before you start doing this. But the turning action, once again, if we can establish getting nice heel drive here, keep your shoulders open more. Which way you turn? Oh, great. If she turns, staying tall, look down her arm and just turn here and not letting this get too loose. She's got to drive the heels, but if we can get her above horizontal before we start the turning action, her momentum will continue over the top. If she gets loose and turns, her heels are probably going to drop, she's going to get loose, and she's not going to be able to snap through the upper body. One of the things we want to try to stress, is that once she makes contact, that the snap happens more through the upper body, through this position here. She's snapping, push and snap hard. She snaps here more and not so much here. A lot of kids will hit the ball here and do everything in the midsection. The shoulders will flange and she's going to end up piking too early. The more aggressive she can drive the heels, get turned with a tight, strong body here, work the ball in this part of the body, the more rotation and height she's going to have. Unfortunately, some of us have problems using the upper part of the body and staying tight. They try to do too much to the midsection. Okay? Start here. So if we can simulate getting in the air, driving the heels strong, a sharp half turn, staying tight, pressing the shoulders, and then basically snapping and standing up. So the body comes off the horse here. Before we start closing the hip angle, we're going to have a lot more height in the vault before we start closing it up. Yes?
You mean snapping through the chest?
Right. Snapping through the chest here and not so much through here. Because they have a tendency to close the shoulder angle and dropping the hips on the snap. Okay, let's do a couple handsprings real quick. So let's do a couple handsprings real quick and see if we can get it to turn. I use a lot of little preschool stuff to simulate this good takeoff off the horse. If you can set a barrel or a donut or whatever here and get them to work on standing up and getting over an object, they're going to be less apt trying to snap too early. Okay? So we want their shoulder angle to stay stretched, head in, looking at the horse, snapping hollow before we start closing the hip angle. We want them to stand up tall without throwing the head back. Do a couple handsprings real quick. Again. By the way, so if you can go more like a quick handspring and maybe a quick cartwheel, and eventually the longer that you can get the heels up and do a sharp half turn, the better position you are going to be able to snap to that position. Now again, I've talked to several coaches and they say, I just can't get my kid to wait that long. A lot is going to depend again on the speed they have coming into that ball and how tight they are when they hit the ball. Once they hit the ball, they've got to be strong throughout their whole body and just be able to react up in the upper body before they start to rotate. So if we can get them to come on, stand up tall, and then pike, just by snapping here and not doing this, we're going to be able to get in the pike sooner and still have enough momentum to get open. We really want to work on getting a lot of rotation before we start trying to snap and grab our leg. One of the comments to me the other day was, I see a lot of kids doing this pike like this. Well, this is not a good pike position right here. Basically, if we can get you to stand up, rotate, and just bend the hips so that you're showing 90 degrees, and then get open, that's what we're working for. Much like what we did on the tuck open. So we stand up tall, bend at the hips, close the hip angle, and then stop the feet and get open. But if they don't have a good handspring, they don't have a good half on, and maybe not just a good open tuck rotating vault, they're going to have problems doing the tuck open or the pike open. Okay, Kimmy, half on. Okay, let's just pay attention to the timing of the turn. See if we can get her above horizontal before she starts to turn. Okay, close, but you notice the feet came apart. If she's a little longer, she's a little tighter, she's actually coming off and closing her hip angle slightly, and that's also causing her feet to come apart. If she's kept her hips open, stay a little tighter, I think she'd have pretty close to what we want. Yes? Close the shoulders angle a little bit there. Hey, Kimmy. A little early. Okay, no one ever said we haven't done that before. Where's Muriel? One more, ladies. Again, if we can really work on the beginning of that, trying to stand up before we start closing the hip angle, we're going to be able to do this on the way up off the horse and not try to do a souk and then pike down. If we can rise the upper body, start the legs coming up on the way up, then you're going to be able to pike and get open much easier. But you're going to have to be very strong, very fast off the board. Okay, that was pretty tight. I think she could probably get inverted a little quicker, but her feet were pretty close together, and you know she really's not turning too much. She has that tend to close her shoulder and stuff. Okay, Kim's tight, but I think you can see the leg separation. So she just has to think just a little longer, a little more patient on the heel drive. Okay, let's say that's perfect now. All right, and let's just work on getting off the horse, getting nice and high. Okay. Now the drill that both these guys are going to do, you saw the first one, coming off the horse, trying to establish this nice tight hollow position. We want to start closing the hip, still rounded and hollow, so that we don't get a whippy effect on takeoff. Once you stand up tall, close the hip, then the shoulders, the chest can rotate back as they open up. You cannot do a pike down and try to get open. This thing's got to rotate, get piked quick, so that basically the feet stop and the upper body is rising. What's she going to do? Same thing? Okay. What do we do with our arms? That's going to be real optional for your kid. Now, I think what you don't want to do is come off the horse and do this. Drop your arms and drop your chest. Try to keep your arms and chest tall. Try to bring your legs up. Then as you open, you can bring them out. If you're having to drop your arms to rotate, you're probably going to be dropping your chest as well. Really, once you stand up and get tall here, you shouldn't have to do too much with the arms until you open. Okay? Hollow to a candlestick. Okay, not too bad. But what I would do with her more is try to get from here, and not get so much of this. Because by the time she starts piking open, she's going to be gone. She's not going to be able to do a good pike and open. She's probably either going to pike and stay pike, or barely pike and try to open. So that momentum's got to go here more. When she stands up, tries to lift her shoulders this way more before she starts piking and open. How about your open? The same idea we did on the tuck open. Can you do a pike open to your stomach? Okay. When she comes off, again, we want to try to stay here so that when she pikes, this does not go back, stays here. She rotates here, and then her feet stop and opens. All right? Okay, do that. Need help? Okay, good, one more time. Okay, good. Again, the only way you're going to be able to do that is you come off the horse, but this rises and this closes. Your whole body can't tilt back and then try to pike, because you're not going to be able to show enough pike. The judges want to see 90-degree pike and opening. You don't have to grab your legs. You don't have to hang out here alone. I think if you just stand up tall, show 90 degrees, and get out, that's going to be sufficient. Comments, judges? Yes, no? Yeah? Okay. Now, generally, that's kind of what we're looking for. Are there any questions? Yes?
Is it okay to do a quarter on instead of a half?
I think the turning action needs to be between, what is it, a quarter and a half? Between a quarter and a half. Okay. I think the thing that you have to be, again, depending on the athlete, is if they're able to quarter on and get turned pretty square to get off the horse, you're going to have problems if they get a little sideways. So if they do more of a quarter type action, you're going to be having to get off the horse and get square before they start closing the hip angle. If they come off crooked and they're already closed the hip angle, they're going to end up crooked in the still. So the quicker you can get them up, standing up tall, getting the hips to rise. And again, the secret is being able to stand up and lift the hips into the pike and not just piking. Because the hips will drop and you won't be able to get open. So that as the body's coming off the horse, you've got to lift here with the pike and open and not drop down and pike and let the hips drop. But again, they've got to be very aggressive here. In the future, yeah, we're working on towards the layout too. So you got to start really working on open rotation through the souk and working on the stopping action, piking open, and not try to get too whippy. Okay, because I know that in judging these, we've seen people that do a pike souk and land. We've seen people do layout and go like this. Okay, it's not going to cut it. You got to show 90 degrees to get open. It's going to be fast. You got to show 90 degrees and get out. Okay. Any other questions?
On the block, so the block has to be vertical, but you're talking about getting the arms all the way up. With our guys, if they go too high, they can't rotate, so it's a matter of stopping the arms.
Right.
Yeah,
I probably do this to show, but no, you don't want the arms all the way up because you're probably going to pull their shoulders back. Once they come off here, basically, if they just lift the arms here and they do everything through the midsection, they're going to be able to show that pike. If they come off and do this and open the shoulders, they're probably going to end up piking on the way down. So they don't want to really be back. And again, it's going to depend on the athlete, but the quicker they can come off and rise here and get this happening quick, the more success you're going to have of getting out in time to open it up.
But the main thing is getting on the horse quick enough to do that.
Exactly. And again, it's going to be on how fast they are. Some kids that are going to be slow are probably going to turn upside down slow, land on the horse, and then pike down. The quicker you are getting inverted off the board, getting turned and getting off the horse, the easier the pike open is going to be. Okay? Just be real careful about tight body position and trying to get turned as late as possible to do the vault successfully. Yes, Kathy?
It's time. I'm sorry, since has to fly now.